Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. In today's video we will be replacing the screen on this Motorola GPR. Now before we get started, we just want to make sure that if you are following along at home that you are working on the exact same model that we are. So please verify that with the model number that is in the title so that way you don't damage anything. To start, we will be removing our SIM tray. Now removing our SIM tray makes it a lot easier for when it comes to removing the back cover. If you do have any SD cards or SIM cards inside of the tray, we advise that you leave them in there and put them off to the side. Afterwards, we are going to start by removing our back cover. Now, most Android phones have back covers that are adhered to the phone. They have adhesive that hold them down, that way they don't come off. And typically with those, you do have to preheat everything in order for you to remove it. That's not the case with this model, however. There are just a simple system of clips that run along the edge of the frame that hold down the back cover. So there's no preheating, nothing that would involve a heat gun or anything. All you'd have to do in this case is get a pry tool, pry along the edges, and you are going to have a little bit of patience because there are quite a few. So there is going to be a section that you will see that runs along the side of the frame of the screen and the edge of the back cover. That is where you will insert your pry tool, and you don't have to pry up too hard. You will feel it once it comes off. You will feel it click. So just make sure that you go along the edges. Now, like I said, it is going to take a little bit of time. If you have experience, you will feel some spots and you will know exactly when they disengage the clips. But if this is your first time, we advise take it easy. It's not too hard once you get the hang of it. After you remove your back cover, it's not going to come off 100% right away. As you can see, there is a ribbon cable that is inside, and that ribbon cable is actually connected to the fingerprint sensor that is still attached to the back cover. Now, same thing, no preheating or anything for this. The adhesive on it is not the strongest. So all you would have to do is just push down on the fingerprint sensor just a little bit, not too hard. And that sensor should come off very easily. And that way you can remove entirely your back cover and set it off to the side. So it doesn't take too much power, just a little bit of a push, and that should be it. So once we get to the inside of the phone, after we removed our back cover, we can start by removing our top and bottom covers. Now, the screws that hold these covers down are not your typical Phillips head screws. These are Torx screws that hold them down. So you will be needing a completely different screwdriver. You'll be needing a Torx screwdriver to remove them all. Now, the screws for these are all the same size. You can organize them if you do feel so. That's your personal preference. Since they are the same size, you can put them just about anywhere on there. But we typically here like to remove them and organize them just in the section that they were in. So all of these screws from the top lid will go next to the top lid. All these screws from the bottom lid will be separated and put next to the bottom lid after we have removed it. So if you have watched any of our videos, if this is your first time watching our videos, or if you are a recurring watcher, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe. This helps us basically put out more content. It lets us know what you guys like, what you guys want to see. And that way we can keep on providing the same quality of content for you guys. So after we have removed our lids, we will go ahead and disconnect the battery. Top lid has been removed, the battery is disconnected, and then we can continue to remove our bottom lid, which has the loudspeaker attached. So same thing, the screws on the bottom are the same size as screws on the top as well. So remember, you don't have to organize them if you don't want to. We separate them out just by the section that they're in. So that way it makes it a little bit more easier. Just a couple of screws, and if you need some tweezers, it does help as well. Most of the time you can use a tweezer just to get the screws out. They won't come out 100% of the time, so you can get some tweezers, pull them out if you choose to. So after we have removed both our top lid and our bottom lid, we will disconnect our antenna. There is an antenna that runs along the left side of the frame here. It's cut into a groove. Now that groove is specifically where that antenna will run through. So we disconnect it from the motherboard on top, and then we will remove it from the bottom board as well. Now, as well as here, as on the bottom, you can also see that there are a couple of other things. You have your charging port, and you do have also your vibrator. And with these, removing them, there's not really any force you have to do. They come out on their own. They are same thing, held down by just a couple of clips. So all you have to do is just really see where those clips are at, disengage them from the clip, and they should come out. The vibrator sensor, on the other hand, you will have to be a little bit more careful because it only has a slight bit of adhesive, but you should be able to pull it out very easily. So after you have removed that, we will move on to our main section of the phone. We will be disconnecting the entirety of the screen. The screen is connected via this cable that runs underneath the battery. In order for that, we will disengage the connector. Now, you can disconnect the connector either with, a guitar pick. We are using this razor blade, but however, this is a plastic razor blade, so it's not a typical standard metal razor blade. We're using this plastic razor blade because it is a little bit more duller and a little bit more safer for this. But if you don't have any of those, you can also use your fingernail, which is a little bit more convenient. So after we have removed and disconnected our screen, we can remove our motherboard, and that way we get access to just a couple of more smaller components that are underneath. Same thing, the motherboard on top is also basically held on by a couple of clips and screws. I don't know if you guys saw, but there are some screws that hold down the motherboard on top and the charging port on the bottom as well. Those same thing, can separate them out. They are going to be a little bit different colored than the other screws. So afterwards, we can remove our battery. Here is where you can choose to preheat it if you'd like. You can preheat it just a bit. That way it makes it removing a little bit easier. We have preheated ours just a bit, and we'll also be using isopropyl alcohol. We'll be running it along the edges here so that way it seeps in a little bit underneath, and that softens the adhesive that is basically holding the battery underneath. And then for this as well, you do have to be careful, that way you don't puncture your battery. We're going to be using this plastic playing card. We don't advise that you use anything metallic, because if you do puncture your battery, and if it is slightly charged, you could potentially risk puncturing it, and it could blow up. Same thing with the battery, you are going to have a little bit of patience, because it's not going to be the easiest to come out, but once you've had a little bit of practice with it, you will get the hang of it. So once the battery is freed up, we can move it out off to the side, and we will be removing the rest of our smaller components that are still on the screen. We will be removing the power button. The power button cable is also the same as the volume buttons, so just remove that very carefully not to tear the connector, and then you should be able to set that aside. So again, if you are a fan of the videos, please, we do encourage that you like the video, that you subscribe, turn on the bell notifications so that way you're notified of whenever we upload a new video. And also, please, give us feedback in the comments. Let us know what you'd like us to do, what you'd like to see, what kind of repairs you would like us to do. That would also help us a lot. It does let us know what you guys are looking for, what you guys like. If you guys do need help with anything, let us know again down in the comments below. We do also have other social media that we use, so please feel free to look us up. All of our socials will be in the link. There are several links in the description to all of our socials. Now, the small gasket that we're going to be removing here is for the loudspeaker. That loudspeaker gasket right there is removed so that way the speaker doesn't sound so distorted. So afterwards, once you remove that gasket, we will set it aside as well because we will be applying it to our new screen. And here we have our new screen. So now comes the halfway point of the repair. Here is where you will be removing, or basically putting everything back onto the new screen in the order that you removed it. So be sure that everything that you have removed is put back. Be sure that you adjust everything the way that it was in order for you to get everything back. So again, like I said, like the video, subscribe. Again, the comment section is what we will be focusing on the most. Let us know what you guys would like to see, what kind of repairs on certain devices you'd like us to do. We don't do much. We do mainly work on cell phones and tablets, but if you guys have certain repairs, like certain model of tablets that you guys would like us to work on, if you guys would like us to do a certain type of screen replacement for, say, a different model of phone, please let us know in the comments down below. That does help us produce more content, and it shows us what you guys are interested in, what you guys would like us to do, what you guys would like us to basically put out for you. We do also have 3 stores here in the US. All of the stores that we have are located in Arizona. So if you yourself have watched one of these videos and are in the area, please, we encourage you that if you don't want to do this repair yourself, you can bring it down to any of our 3 stores. We are actually working on opening a 4th store. So if you guys are interested, like I said, if you guys have repairs that you guys don't want to do, feel free to bring them down to any of the stores. Feel free to call in if you guys have questions. Basically, any of the support that you guys give us helps out a lot in basically making future content for you guys. Later on down the line, that 4th store will be open, so we will be spreading out a little bit more in Arizona. So feel free to visit us if you guys would like to. If you guys have repairs, bring them on down. We're more than happy to help you guys get whatever you guys have fixed. That's essentially what we're here to do. That's what we focus on, you know, is making quality content for you guys via our socials. In store, basically giving you guys the best treatment that we can, which is a quality repair and quality customer service. So yeah, feel free, bring them in, call if you guys have questions. We offer quotes over the phone. We offer free diagnostics. It's typically same day or next day repair depending on the type of repair that it is that you guys are looking for. So feel free, bring them down if you guys are interested. Now, these repairs are a little bit tricky at the beginning. If you have never done any of these repairs, I will reiterate, you do have to have a little bit of patience because it's not going to be easy at first. But after a couple of times that you do it, you will start to get a pattern. You'll develop a sense of what to do, how to do it, how much of something to use, how little of something to use. For any first time do-it-yourself repairers out there, I will tell you this: it's not the easiest at the beginning, but if you keep on trying, you'll get the hang of it, and eventually you'll build up your own rhythm, and it'll be a lot more smoother. It's not the easiest, but it pays off in the end. Now, we do ask that when you do put everything back, remember, if you yourself have a system of how to organize everything, you could organize it in the way that you like. Just remember that you put everything back in the order that you took it off if you want to, and that you put it in correctly, or else something may not work. That would be the tricky part here, is basically putting everything back and making sure that it is in the same exact spot that you removed it from, because if you put just everything back and then close it up and something's not working right, then you're gonna have to do double the work for something that you could have prevented from the start. So we put back our top covers, and those screws, like we said, are Torx screws, not Phillips head. In the video, like, we put them off to the side. We did only have them organized based on the section that they were going to be in, the top lid versus the bottom lid. You put all of those back. Not many places will put these screws back. We have had a couple of phones that'll come in and they will be missing a couple of screws, and most places do this just for the sake of, say, getting a repair done a lot faster, or sometimes, it's a little bit sad to say, but just laziness of not wanting to put all these screws back. It is a lot of work, but all of these screws are pretty much essential to the phone. So if you don't put all the screws back, it's fine if you don't want to do that, but it is a little bit more better for your phone in order to have all those screws in. Now, after we've screwed everything in, that is when we could put back our top cover. Our back cover will come into play here. Now, same thing goes. You will have to line up your back cover, and the clips will engage. You'll feel when they'll engage because you will hear a click. When you put everything back and you're about to put your back cover back on, be sure that you line up your fingerprint sensor with the hole that's cut out on the back, so that way you're able to guide that sensor back in. And then afterwards we will turn our phone on, and that's it. So like I said, guys, if you do enjoy the content that we are bringing out, please like the video, share the video, turn on post notifications, comment what you guys would like us to do and what you guys would like us to see, and we will be more than happy to do so for you guys.